If not now, when means that it's always a time to act, to take responsibility, to speak out against injustice. You don't wait for somebody else to move first. If you see something that's wrong, if you see something that can be corrected, you take action. In my career in community organizing, in city politics, and now at American Jewish World Service working for global justice, you have to take risks. You look for something that's wrong, you figure out what you can do to make the situation better. You need colleagues in the struggle, but you very often have to ask. Take that first step. So it's very much like Nachshon was the person who actually stepped into the Red Sea, and it was only after he walked into the water that the waters parted. So in my life, I've done that many times. I've done it very often when I've taken the risk of being the first person to say, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Or wait a minute, we actually do all bear some responsibility for this injustice. Or wait a minute, there's something that we can do, even if it will make us somewhat unpopular. And for me, it's the hallmark of what American Jewish World Service does, which is to identify situations of injustice, recognize that there are people who are the oppressors, that there are people who are hurting others, but that those people who are working for social change in their communities need a partner, they need our help, they need our support. One person can always make a difference, and we have really, tens of thousands of examples of that, from the universe of elections that actually have been won or lost by a single vote, to the people who, because they stood up, even though they might, tragically in many instances, have actually lost their lives, became a role model for others. If not now, when means that there's always a moment when you have to challenge yourself to step forward. It means an individual taking responsibility to speak out against injustice, to act, in my former life, to vote. We can't wait for someone else to go first. The world needs leaders who will call out what they see as wrong and then suggest the best course of action and be willing to take that first step. I think courage is necessary, although I would say that in my experience, courage to act is also often mixed with anxiety and fear. I mean, it's a core of essential humanity. The world is a somewhat scary place, and that we need to protect the human rights of individuals and groups who may be very different than we are. We don't actually act on the Jewish teaching that every person is equally made in the image of God, that we all have a responsibility for the other. The major thing, says Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, not me, the major thing is not to be afraid. And as I said before, of course we're always a little bit afraid, but don't let your fear get in the way of taking action. Think that this really might be the moment for you to be the best person you can be by recognizing the humanity of every other person and acting in their behalf. I believe in combating injustice, and I have hope that the world can be and should be a better place, and that I have a responsibility to help do that work.